right, first item is approval of the August 21st minutes. Anybody have any comments? Someone want to make a motion?
I'll move to approve as submitted.
All right.
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Then first up is Crumble Cookie. Hey, come on up. Have a seat. We've got revised plans for me tonight, which I have a feeling will address Mr. Francis' comments. I'll go through real quick since Mr. Francis is not here with us tonight.
Yeah, actually, the owner of the public is supposed to be. Showed up.
Okay, well, we'll see, maybe you're good in that, yeah. Fine. So just going through Mr. Francis' comments real quickly. Applicant's proposing new signs for the tenant space located at 509 East Aurora Road, site zone B1 convenience business district. Reviewed the sign application, including sign illustrations dated July 28th. These revised ones are, today's date probably, the 14th, September 14th. So they were in connection and offer the planning commission the following information. At the August meeting, the commission approved signage for Papa Smokes and learned that the former Don Bash jeweler was divided into two tenant spaces. Crumble Cookies will be occupying the tenant space that contains two frontages. As such, a wall sign is being proposed on each of Crumble's frontages. Analysis: both proposed wall signs are divided into two lines of individual front-lit acrylic white channel letters on a solid black backer. The sign backer is 3.17 by 9.5 feet, 30 square feet in total, 30.1 square feet in total, 60.2 square feet of signage is proposed for the two signs. I'm going to start kind of skimming it. First two signs is on 82, measures 32 feet. Frontage measures 32 feet, which permits 64 square feet of signage. The code allows additional 40% of the allowable sign area of the main frontage. As such, secondary frontage is permitted an additional 25.6 square feet. In total, 89.6 square feet is permissible on this corner unit. Therefore, the area of the two signs is acceptable. I'm assuming this didn't change size. Do you know that the sign itself, it didn't get any bigger, did it?
No.
No?
This is their first choice. This is what they'd like.
Oh, okay.
Because this is, we've installed a number of locations and they have the same format. The aluminum panel in the back is HD, and then the channel letters mounted on it. And all the wiring for the channel letters are contained within the panel in the back.
Okay.
And this is what they prefer.
Okay, so this is like a second option. Because you're 36 inches high by
Is it 117?
117, so it's a couple inches wider, same height. I don't think we were like on the verge of.
No, we had 6.5.
Yeah.
Because it was 60.2 for both 89.6 per letter.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of, the size won't be, even if it changed a little bit, it won't be affected. To the best of my knowledge, all the signs in the retail plaza comprise individuals' letters mounted on a raceway and none are mounted on a solid backer as proposed in the application. In fact, the most recent application, Papa Smokes, was approved with individual channel letters on the raceway. To be consistent with the surrounding signage and comply with the code, the proposal must be modified to eliminate the 2-inch aluminum backer, mount the channel letters to a raceway like the other signs. Conclusion: I believe the signs can be approved subject to the use of a raceway and the elimination of the solid aluminum backer. If the commission concurs, administrative review of the revised plan is acceptable. Got a revised plan. I still think Mr. France should take a quick look at it. Even if we do approve it, make it contingent on his final approval. Personally, I think the individual letters to match the rest of the building, and that's what we're trying. We don't do a whole lot of the box signs.
No, I just did this Google, and I understand the rationale,
Mhm.
because it helps to keep it.
Yeah, I think we'd like to keep it consistent. Do you guys have any? I
Well,
agree.
a quick question. You say the crumble cookies would prefer having a black background with white rather than this?
Yes.
So they'd prefer black, it's the color.
Well,
It's not necessarily,
so much color, it's like the standard, standard signs that they use is a black panel. It's a couple inches thick. with
yeah,
channel letters.
I've seen pictures of it, yeah. It seems to be black and white, like your first one you showed us, but
Right.
I don't know, Brian was worried about the way it was mounted, right?
No, he didn't like the black background.
He didn't like the black background either?
Yeah, yeah.
I missed
It's a
that.
cabinet sign, so they're trying to get away from that.
None of the other ones.
Match the other ones.
So you say they can live with this?
Well, I would imagine yes, if they had,
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I understand,
Yeah,
but I'm going to represent the customer.
right.
I go to a lot of meetings, a lot of city halls. Sometimes I have to present some things that I don't agree with.
I understand.
It's not right.
And I know they have done this, the revised one, similar. I know, I looked at the one in Menor, and that one's got the channel letters on the raceway. So I know they have done it, maybe they prefer the other, but I think to be consistent with the rest of the building, I think we should, I would like to see the individual letters on the raceway. I agree. So I guess, I'll make a motion to approve the revised plans that were submitted tonight, contingent on, Mr. Ferentz's final review of it, to make sure it's compliant.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion on that?
Just one more thing,
Yeah.
Kevin. Well, I'm reading Brian's notes here. He said both proposed he said something about the coloring. That's the only thing I can see on there about the coloring. The both proposed wall signs are divided into two lines of individual white channel letters on a solid black backer, which is, I guess, what Crumble Cookies likes, the solid black backer. Was that it?
Yeah.
And where does Brian say that we should have a white black backer?
I think in the,
Individual
yeah,
channels.
I'm really sorry, an accident on the freeway.
that's okay, we haven't taken any action
We're
yet.
talking about individual channels.
Where does he say the coloring is? It's
He
bothering
doesn't say
me.
any color, he just says individual channel letters.
I know
What
that, but
but
why
that's
don't
not
we go
what
along with
this
their
is.
color?
But that's not what this is, though. That's not, that's not.
Well, they can change the,
They're looking at it right now.
the construction, the coloring is apparently important to them. I kind of hate to, can't they do it with the colors they want? Don't you think?
What's that?
Can't they do it with the colors they want?
I don't think it's about the colors, I think it's about the box, I guess.
So they have two approved signs. They have one with the channel letters and one with the black backer that they have approved. The problem is that this is one of my other stores, they typically go all white on the casing and it just doesn't, so when you look at it, it just doesn't show.
No, you can't see it,
like
right?
that. So that's one of the problems.
Is there
that
any
we
reason why they could use make the letters black?
So one of the things that we proposed that we're looking at was to black rim the letters and see if that would maybe make it stand out a little bit better. This did get approved, so we could look at that as an option.
Is that what's in the revised one?
Yeah, that's the revised one.
That right there is the
So with this one here, what we ended up doing in this store was they did a grayed out letter with kind of like transmitting holes in it. It really didn't look great, but that's kind of what we went with.
So
This wasn't a good option for this.
this right here has that letter, has the letters kind of outlined in the black, correct?
Yeah, so they went with, that's called.
I'd be fine with that.
Outside.
Well, the trim cap would be black, but also the face of the letter would have an inch of black line on it.
Yeah, rolls a little bit.
Right, so the inch of black line on the radius of the letter and black trim cap.
But the front face of the, that's perfect.
It shows the return on the side is black.
So is there kind of a border around the letters, is that what you're saying, or?
Yeah, that's kind of what they're proposing. The reason why this would be maybe the preferred is we know that we'll
the letter will look like where my finger is.
Okay, the right.
The return and the trim cap around the letter face will be black.
You know, some of the plazas we have
Yeah. That
the
seems like
bronze, whatchamacallit, requirement, but I don't think this plaza has that.
No, it's probably supposed to stay white or the red.
Okay. So I think we could accommodate that around it. Sorry, this is my fault. This is not working as well.
And this one that was just recently, this was approved by a franchise, which is, so we could go to something like this if we wanted to try that. It just comes with the gamble of, ends up being a little washed out.
Yeah.
It's older than we
Look at something.
kind of start over again. And starting over again, that's the point that usually comes out of my checkbook, so I hate to do that, but we have to.
Yeah, I think our planning reviewer who, I assume you saw the memo,
Yeah.
who was talking about it. You know, for consistency with the building, we're trying to stay away from those cabinet type block out, yeah, the signs and just do the letters on the raceway. So to be consistent, I think we'd like to go with the new option. Hopefully it works out and it is visible. I know we've got white, but hopefully maybe with that trim around it, it'll pop out.
It'll pop.
I think it'll be better than what, like, you can see this
I
one
agree.
here.
Yeah, that was.
It did have, it was because you can see on this one here, there, the sides are actually black. It just doesn't have that kind of bead that goes around it, so
Yeah.
just against the building. And this is actually fairly close up. When you go across the parking lot, you almost can't see the road. This kind of is blown out. It's an off-white building, so that's why this one's a very white building.
But yeah, I think that edge around it would be fine.
It can't hurt.
Yeah.
So it would help. I think it would differentiate the lettering against the white, so.
I think that looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think the individual ones look well, I said?
Well, yeah, and we generally desire the, what do we call it, channel letters with the raceway like that anyways instead of the cabinet, like you said. So, but if you can put some type of a border or something on there that's makes it pop, kind of like I assume this drawing has it there versus that example you gave there on the far right. I agree that it looks washed out, but so to stay within the channel letter and the raceway request, doing some type of edge on there, I think would be.
Yeah. Yeah, now
I think
that this
that's
was
really
approved, so this just got approved this morning.
Okay.
So just in the nick of time. So I was coming in here, gonna really beg you guys, please don't make me do this, but where this is actually looking like it's a reasonable option.
You have a little bit of square footage too, where you could make these a little bit bigger if you needed to. I don't know what, I know there's all proportions that go to this, but you might have a little bit of room to make it just a
Yeah,
little bit bigger.
sometimes when you get away from our backer, it gives you a little bit of extra, so we can take a look.
Well, looking even, you've got quite a bit of distance, like, and again, I know there's all different things that go into this, but you've got a little bit of room there that if you were to squeeze that way, you might be able to make it just a little taller. Maybe, yeah, just you, because you have, you're allowed 89.7, I think it was. 89.6, and you're at 60.2 right now. So I think if you were to take it
On
and
the
pull
Total
total
between
between the two sign
areas.
areas, so you might be able to. Again, I think that'll
So you're
help.
saying this distance here.
I think overall, I mean, you could, yeah, you've got square footage allowed between the two signs is 89.6.
Okay.
And right now you're at square feet, you're at 60.2, 30.1 per sign, so they can each go up.
We're allowed.
Maybe just the one that's facing
Yeah.
the street goes up.
That's what I was kind of thinking. If you wanted to get,
Put all your extra.
I think you get better visibility out of trying to make this one a little larger. Leave the one on the side, and just try to get your extra.
Just try to, yeah, I'm very much so interested
And
in
if-
just kind of bang for buck on signs.
So you kind of lost some of that space there. If there's nothing, I mean, I know it's probably just like your
A
wiring
lot of
and
these
stuff.
signs, they're kind of like already pre-designed, so there's probably a specific kind of ratio that they're probably not really much between them.
I was just
But
looking at-
even still, you know, we might be able to, you know, I'll talk to him and say, well, we're leaving a little sign option on the table. It's difficult because we balance between the landlord's desires.
Right.
In this particular situation, Jim Talon's super like laid back, easygoing. He's like, yeah, you
think
I think we
so.
can say they can administratively. Brian, we said that we want Brian to have one last look at it, so I think if Brian has one last look at it, I'm comfortable with, if we stick with this design, and
Yeah,
we
as long
just
as
try to
they
get a
stay
little larger,
allowed.
and they don't go over the allowable,
I agree. Give them our notes.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, works for me. Well, we've got a,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is it's almost, yeah,
Yeah.
20 square feet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, you've got a lot of room there, so that might,
Look at 10
with,
percent.
with having, that's just that black around there, that'll give you, let you get that a little bit more visible, if you can, I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, let me have, I'll push back on that a little bit, because I appreciate pointing that out, because a lot of times, like I said, as an owner, that's, once I have the expense there,
Right.
it's advertising for me, so I'd love to have it just be something that you know, looks good.
I don't know if this one's gonna get you, I think you're gonna get more bang for your buck on the front than on the side right there. I could be wrong, but I think you're,
The other thing I can see is right back on and saying is that they'll want to be the same balance, so that's
They
could
kind of all outside.
grow a
Yeah,
little
that
bit.
makes
Even
sense.
if we took 10, 10 square feet per side,
Mhm.
well, that would make sense, so that would make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys having a conversation with us on this.
So we put a motion, as you were walking in before we saw you, we have a motion on the table to approve it with administrative review by Mr. Francis to make sure, because he's not here tonight, to make sure everything still is compliant. He's out of town, so you actually probably have a few days. If you wanted to try and look at the size thing, you may want to do that soon, and then you could probably get the revised plan, if you want to revise it into the city before Mr. France gets a chance to look at it.
Before he does his final time.
That would be probably the best. I don't know when he's coming back to town, Thursday or something like that. Would be the earliest.
We still are approving this one, right?
Approving this one, I guess.
I think, yeah, I thought you said the 9/14 date, yeah.
So option B is the.
Yeah, I'm easy approved with, you know, make the size a little larger, then stay within your
I'll talk-
regulations.
I'll talk to the sign guy today.
Okay.
Sure we can. We're not leaving anything on the table, we'll do that. Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
Was it just that easy?
We got a vote, yeah. All in favor of the approval with Mr. Francis, administrative review?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so it should be good, but,
Thanks, guys.
yeah, I try to get that in soon. I can come get this.
I was gonna have to start bribing the cookies. What do I gotta do? It's here.
Really cookies.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you
No
so
problem, have a good rest of your day.
Do you have an idea when you'll be open?
You know, we're not too far out on construction, and depending on the timeline on signs, maybe last week of October, first week of November.
Oh, wow, that's
We'd love to get it open and
just in time for the holidays.
Holiday.
just in time to see if we can let people have a reason for their January resolutions.
And you'll be there when we break them.
Offering discounts on cookies if you bring in your gym membership on January. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Welcome. Next is Arby's. Come on,
These are these. Some photo here.
okay.
There's photo and cut sheet of the results.
Anybody wants to look at this one or go over?
And, I think I need a functional gray paint check, right? Or
I think that was what it was. Is that for the door?
Yeah, it said to review the color. So this is what we would propose for that. This is the white we'll be using. The note that about said white possible alternative as well, so that needs to be shared.
Okay. Again, Mr. Franson here, I'll try and skim through his comments. Reviewed plan dated July 21st. Revised request, in addition to the interior improvements, the following exterior changes are proposed. Refinish the exterior building awnings in red per an email dated August 28th from Brianna Borkowski Marquiso. And 2, paint the building white as shown on the finish schedule. Please note the previous plan documented a new ordering menu board on the east side of the building. The current proposal does not include the menu board. The commission should confirm whether the new board is proposed with this revision. Do you know?
That should be part of the sign package. I'm gonna show a sign. So I brought the sign package with us, but they would be installing it anyway.
Where are these things?
We show this reference.
Where would these be on our picture?
Okay.
We don't, get the permit for that, that's.
Oh, there. Oh,
So are you submitting a sign package separately? Is that what
No
you're?
windows.
Yeah, they have a separate, from my understanding, they were getting their own permit for that portion. This is the sign package they sent revised.
Okay, okay, so we'll probably look at that with that package when it comes to us, okay. Analysis, the exterior modifications according to the email are limited to white paint and refinishing the existing awnings. To document these improvements, 3 plan sheets were provided. One sheet documents the interior modifications, while sheet A21 and A22 illustrate the exterior changes. These plan sheets illustrate 2 items noted in the August 28th email, but they also have additional notes that imply other modifications. For example, note 26 on sheet A21 documents a wall pack being replaced, while note 12 states that the new wall pack light fixture is included. Moreover, a new drive-through window is proposed, and the additional paint colors, gray and dark brown, are noted. None of these improvements are graphically illustrated on the plans. Likely these plans just need to be cleaned up, and the commission should confirm the extent of the work. Conclusion, the proposal can be approved if the extent of the work truly is some white paint and refinishing the awnings. However, if additional work noted above is being proposed, then the commission should be provided revised elevations that would appropriately reflect the project. So is the work primarily, I mean, it's the awnings, it's the white paint around, is there, and then you were saying the gray was what, for what, the door?
The rear service doors, so we do a darker color typically for that, just because the abuse they get.
Okay.
Show how much things and dents and items associated with that.
Would they be opposed to something more closely matching the brick color? Because you're not painting the brick, right? That's not what
It doesn't say there.
I just want to
Just
get
above.
on record, okay. Those 2 versions.
Yeah.
Kevin, I have a quick question. Where would this, you showed us a picture of the border. Where would this go on our, this is the existing building, I guess this is what it looks like. And this border is on some other Arby's building.
Yeah,
You're planning the border too?
No, just the lights. We originally proposed kind of the border type that the last commission was not acceptable to your.
What did you say? I can't hear you.
It wasn't acceptable from the last time we presented it. We
Oh, I just thought you were showing us this again.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry, that's their
Yeah.
part of the.
It's just for the lights.
Yeah, I get
The lights
you.
is
Okay.
down
That's what it's
south
for. Okay.
That they use. And that's the one we'll be,
Yeah.
on the elevations.
Are you guys also painting the dormers that are up top?
We don't have it noted for that. I don't think it'd be an issue if that's something we prefer.
I think you just go into the expense that you're painting everything else white. I think those are probably in need of
Refreshing.
some refreshment too.
Didn't like, oh, there's that K, it's in there, talking about painting in that area behind.
Ju-
the-
No, I'm
the-
talking about
the-
these
the-
doors.
Oh, those are the little ones.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the awning, remind me, the awning material that's being proposed?
It should be more of a vinyl, I believe. So it's,
You don't propose metal awnings?
no, we're not proposing the metal portion, because they were gonna refurbish and maintain the canopies as is. On the building, and do a new fabric to it.
So it's, the frames are staying, or whatever is behind there, whatever it turns, and you're just putting new fabric on it.
The color would be close to this.
Okay.
It'd be, they didn't provide, able to procure a sample fast enough for it, but it'd be similar to this.
Are they opposed to metal? This for longevity?
Um,
That was one of his, that was one of the comments from the architectural review.
I think the preference-wise in working with the scope of it, they're going with the vinyl to make it more straightforward and streamlined.
So I guess while we're discussing, I will read the architectural review from Pam Schultz. Proposed plans are a minor remodel of the exterior of the building is located in the town center area, which is covered by the architectural design standards. Offers following comments. I believe the white paint color proposed for the fascia area above the brick line will make a significant impact on visibility and freshen up the exterior. The color of the exterior doors on rear elevations listed as functional gray. Please provide samples to show to commission. Painting the doors to match the existing brick would be preferred. Commission to decide on final color. Paint the existing bollard number 6 shown at side elevation is unclear. Please provide actual color. Commission to approve color. And awning shown on the drawing to be quote refurbished. I question the longevity of refurbishing vinyl awnings versus replacing with standard seam metal. Could metal be placed over the existing framework metal or be virtually maintenance-free preferred? Please provide samples of materials and verify color. New light fixtures are noted but not shown in detail. So I guess going through hers, so she's okay with the white. So the exterior door, what do they look like now? Does anybody know?
Here's what you're proposing. That's-
The doors are red, actually.
Well, it's in the back of the building. I'm not having a problem with that.
It's in back, but it faces that, it faces the exit ramp coming off the highway.
Yeah. I don't know, what do you guys think about the color of that? Functional gray.
I was just wondering why, I know you were talking about trying to hide scuffs, but it seems like a lighter color and then it just pops. It's such a blank wall with brick there, and then the gray really pops out of there rather than trying to conceal the door, which I thought, I was thinking it'd be more like trying to make the door blend in, but.
It is in the back of the building though, right? I mean, you know, I can't
It's
get
the
all
back,
worked up
but
about the back
like
of the
here, if you're
building.
sitting on the highway exit ramp, this is the side that we're talking about there. So the cars going through drive-through would drive right by it, but then 3 lanes of traffic on the ramp there too.
Mhm.
It's right on a corner.
And as for the vinyl versus the metal, I guess it'd be up to the applicant if they have to keep replacing it. I'd say it's their problem, not ours. I know Pam thinks that they last longer, and she's no doubt right, but I don't know why we should care about that.
Yeah, I guess as long as it looks good and they maintain it.
Yeah.
You know, I think if it starts to look bad, hopefully they'll.
Well, we'll have to have them redo it.
So here's a fresher, a newer picture, and you've got 2 different colors on the door. So there is a gray one there, and then there's a red one that seems to be similar. I mean, I can't tell from here, but it seems to be similar to the awning color on the red.
Yeah. I personally don't know that I care that much.
Yeah, the
Honestly,
landscaping's
back-
pretty mature on there too.
Yeah.
I think the functional gray looks a little better than this bright red door there.
Yeah, I like the gray better than the bright red.
I mean,
Seeing it.
I think you could get one that would match the brick color a little bit better, but if we're choosing what we're given, I would take just the functional gray.
I could agree with that.
You guys be okay
Picks
with
up the tones of the roof, and then it kind of doesn't look as welcoming there, which
Same
is
thing, so
probably
it
a good
does-
thing.
It does grab the roof color a little bit, so.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll probably be okay with that.
The light fixture thing, I can't find that. It says paint existing bollard number 6. Showed on sign elevation. I looked on the sign elevation.
There's a 6 that's pointing to like nothing.
Oh, it's concealed, so the probably wasn't sure. It's probably dashed, there's something should have dashed.
Oh, yeah, there probably is a bollard right there.
Because it's by the back.
What color is that gonna be?
They propose typically just the stop red, but we're,
That's the rear elevation.
It's
There's
right
six-
there.
It's 6 that's pointing.
It's right before you
Oh.
pull up to the drive-through.
Oh, so there's a
got
light
hatched
probably
over.
someplace up
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably, red is probably one to be noticed.
Yeah.
It's not like it's the only
yeah,
red thing
Okay.
on
some
the-
of them don't match, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
So, That's what I was, awesome.
And then
New light fixtures.
the light fixture, so that was, this is what they'll look like, it's a little light up and down.
Yeah, the cut sheets here, there's two different, there's just down.
And you're not planning on putting any purple bulbs in it or anything?
No.
Okay, because
Yeah,
that
just building
happened,
the-
that happened at Taco Bell.
Yeah, we're not setting any color
And-
grids. They're not supposed to.
Where do these go in relation to the new?
Right on each side of the front door.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see, okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Tony, you good with that? The lights go up and down, nothing crazy.
God.
Yeah, here are these here.
Yeah, we saw it.
For-
You seen
I
it?
don't-
Did you see
Yeah,
it?
I think I've seen that.
Okay.
Check it out.
So I guess, is there anything in Mr. Flynn's says that is, besides, signage, drive-through board, sounds like that's a separate submittal. You mentioned, painting the dormers.
I just mentioned that if everything's gonna get painted, just paint the dormers that are up top.
Yeah, you wouldn't see an issue with that if it would just have been.
They're already white, so I'm assuming they're
We can
just
repaint
gonna
it.
be repainted white anyways.
Yeah. we
Makes
would-
sense.
To change it. Refresh it, just having the scope points as well.
Okay, is there any other issues we need to discuss? I think the color of the awnings is good. Got the doors, the functional gray. Bollard can be red, the lights seem to be okay. Additional paint and dormers. Should have made some motion for us there.
I was, yeah, pretty much made a motion.
Darn it. All right, so make a motion to approve, with a couple notations. The red color is acceptable, they presented. The functional gray for the back doors is acceptable. The lights that they submitted are acceptable. Requested that they paint the dormers at the same time. What's that?
I'd second that.
All right, did I miss anything?
Well, we're good
Bollard.
with the red bollard color.
The red bollard on here, good with that too? Okay. Part of
Red
motion.
bollard.
All right, any more discussion?
Fine.
I'm sorry, Dan, didn't even ask you guys, you got any comments? No. Joe, you got anything? Fine. All right. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Right, thank you, have a good one.
Did you want any of this on file?
Yeah, you know what, why don't you just state the result for the colors you give us to the red.
Yeah.
Do you need to,
Gray.
do you need to run the?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Did you get the white? You need-
Oh, no, wait.
Yeah.
We start the gray one?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, have a good one.
Now we get just ready to beat somebody up.
You're always last. You're always the last guy.
I am, why is that?
That's for last, right?
For this one, Jason's.
Yeah, I'm gonna
going through-
recuse myself because Copeland's home is doing work at our house. So I'm gonna step over. Good luck.
Alright. Yeah.
All right, so we got your plan, why don't you tell us about it while we're signing this?
Yeah, I'm trying to redo the front lot. I guess I should have submitted a picture. There's a really nice picture that someone added of what it looked like. And I got rid of the island already. It was the very first thing I did. And it's just a really wide apron. And in this picture, you can see a manhole. And I'd like to get rid of the apron to the manhole. The manhole would be,
Let it stay there.
yeah, so it'd be, at least two wide cars or trucks in and out. And then just turning into, 7 spots. Shown on the plan. think from the front, it's gonna look much nicer having the landscape bed. Yeah, I didn't submit a detailed plan because I didn't know if you'd approved that or not, so.
Yeah, I think in concept, I think it sounds like it's pretty good. You've seen the comments, but I'll just read them in for the record. So, Mr. France comments on Mr. Koblentz's property. Subject site is zoned LI, Limited Industrial, located on the north side of East Highland Road, at the intersection of Highland Point Parkway and East Highland. Commission approved architectural modifications for the two buildings earlier this year. Applicant is now proposing to update the landscaping and off-street parking lot that front East Highland Road. Reviewed the application dated August 23rd. Following comments: analysis, the existing conditions, see image to the right, will be cleaned up to eliminate the expansive curved apron and haphazard parking condition. Applicant is proposing to shift the parking into a single row to the east side of the site with one barrier-free parking space and 6 traditional 10x20 parking spaces. A landscape bed is being created adjacent to the modified site entrance, and the 2 separate beds are proposed adjacent to the main building entrance. Recommendation: the next step of the project was discussed in March with the applicant, and it reflects a significant improvement to the site. Generally, I think the proposal is acceptable, but the plan details are very conceptual. I believe it's acceptable for the commission to approve this proposal. Both the revised plan provides details about the landscaping, type, quantity, spacing, etc. that should be submitted for administrative review. So I guess in general, he's okay with the plan. I think I am too. Definitely reducing that giant apron to something more reasonable is great. Adding some landscaping would, yeah, definitely improve it. Chris, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I would like to see what the plants are, just to make sure we're not using any invasives or anything like that. But, I mean, I think the layout looks lovely. It looks like you're saving a few birch trees. That's great. So, yeah, if you want to come back and kind of submit something that just kind of indicates what you're proposing putting into these beds, we just kind of weigh in and
Yeah.
go from there.
I think if you approve the parking, I would have, I'll have this done by a professional landscape company and can have approved plans.
The only question I had was on the van accessible stall. They're gonna have to back in them essentially, because the van accessible or your accessibles, typically your accessible area is on the left-hand side, or
Okay.
the right-hand side, I'm sorry, of the vans typically, so they usually pull in. So this one, they would actually have to back in. Is that correct?
Yes, I guess.
Okay.
And
Couldn't they,
Could they switch it?
could they just flip it?
I had thought of that, I was gonna recommend it, but I know it also, I have no issue with it being flipped, just typically you see that on the passenger side. Cause usually you have like accessible stall, then you have your van accessible one, and then you have another accessible stall, so. But you don't need to have 2, because you meet the code requirements, which is the one, but I think just probably moving that. The only caveat to that would be that, and this is why I'm pretty sure they did what they did, was because if you put this as your parking space, and they're gonna be essentially getting out into the landscape. So I think my only thing there would be is, I don't know if you fortunately have to kick everything down a little bit to just provide a little bit of room for somebody to get out that's not in a potentially wheelchair. I guess just maybe rethink that. I don't think it's a problem to have it be a back-end space, but I'm not 100% sure in terms of it. I'd have to double check the code, but I know typically that's your accessible spaces here and your striping's there.
I guess if it meets code having it this way, I'd probably rather have it this way.
I agree. It makes sense. I know why they didn't put it here, because again, then somebody's opening up their door and getting out into landscaping, which obviously isn't ideal.
I can think of only once where I had a client that was in a wheelchair and had a van.
Yeah, usually it's few and far between.
So, in these are never going to be used. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 spots
Yeah.
used usually. So,
Just figured I'd bring up, it was something that came
Yeah.
up.
Can I ask a question, Kevin? The way I read Brian's notes here, it sounds to me that the conceptual plan, we could do it two ways. He could come back with revised plans and more detailed plans, but it seems like Brian was comfortable with bringing his plans to the board and, subject to administrative review. That's our alternative, rather than coming back for another session. Can we try that? I'd prefer that. I think that'd be easier on the applicant and maybe us.
I think if Chris can review it.
Yeah, I could review it.
Yeah, 'cause Chris is a landscape architect, so
Oh, yeah,
I'd
okay.
love to see her see
All
it.
right, okay,
I don't know, so
that'd be good.
yeah, I think we can probably send it administratively.
And then have your input with the
And
administrative.
then communicate
yeah.
back with you guys and
That'd be
Brian.
Yeah.
I'm fine with doing it that way.
Okay.
Save time.
Yeah. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the plan with an administrative review of the landscaping. I think that's it.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Couldn't find a way to beat them.
Everybody's ready, we'll go watch the game.
I know, yeah, we had a certain time we had a hard cutoff.
Had to cut off.
Luckily, we're well under that.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
And then we have one miscellaneous item tonight.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Rubik, would you like to tell us about?
Yeah, I can speak to this. So,
Or-
hello, everybody. We received a lot split consolidation plat one day last week from the owner of the Gateway Shopping Plaza. That's where Burlington Coat Factory is and Best Buy and what have you. So we just wanted to take a couple minutes here tonight to alert the Planning Commission of what is happening. We have received that lot split. You guys have a copy in front of you. This lot split is minor in nature, so it doesn't require any action by the Planning Commission, doesn't require a vote. Chairman and I simply can sign the plat, but we want to alert you guys as to what's going on so that you know. Obviously, the reason, maybe I shouldn't say obvious, but the reason for this lot split and consolidation plat, if you look closely, the existing property lines for the Best Buy property actually run right through the Best Buy building. Don't ask why it's like that, I have no idea, it's just the way it got platted and constructed 25 years ago, and nobody cleaned it up, I guess.
So this is
But
the old line running down?
that's the old line, yes, and there's actually an east-west line that cuts off a little sliver of the south face of the
Oh,
building
down
too.
there.
It's really strange, but obviously the owner of the Gateway Plaza wants to clean this up, and it only makes sense. So the lot that the new lot that he's creating for Best Buy is a completely conforming lot, it has enough square footage, it has proper setbacks on both sides, south and east sides. They're not creating any new lots or any new buildable lots or anything like that, so hence the reason it is minor in nature, and it brings the parcel into conformance, quite honestly. And so that's it.
So it doesn't matter that their parking's not in there, that
No.
in there and all that?
No, that really doesn't matter, no.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see that, if you look closely, that whole Gateway Plaza is actually broken up into 4 parcels.
Yeah.
The owner owns all 4 parcels. Why did he split it up that way? Who knows? Maybe financing purposes, not really our business. So people park, all the time on one parcel, and you walk into a store on a different parcel, so.
All right, so no motion.
Yeah, no motion needed, no action required. Chairman, when the owner does submit us the official full-size Mylar, you and I can submit.
Okay, yes. Susan, just let me know when. Anybody have any questions on it? All right, any other miscellaneous, anything Bob, you want to
You
do?
know, I did, yeah, Justin Bash had sent an email out about the grand opening weekend from September 28th to the 30th with ribbon cutting on the 29th at 1. He wanted to personally invite my department, but all the committee members as well. So I'm extending that invitation to you guys. I don't know if he's giving anything away.
Discount on jewelry?
50% off?
He just had 75.
Did he?
Did you really?
One of the others.
Oh, moving sale, yeah.
Up to.
Up to, right.
Christmas is coming, guys.
What does that mean?
Everybody's got wives here, right? Christmas is coming,
Yeah, we're
just
already
kind of
married.
sticking
We
up
don't
for
need
all the
another-
wives.
Oh, yeah, Susan, we're on the record.
Anything else? Fire, anything? All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We're out again.